Hello, everyone. I know it's late, but I wanted to try to get alive in here. I'm back to that crazy schedule again. These are all the cards that came out when I was pulling them out to do a split. We've got Smear, one of my new cards. A Smear is like you know, we've got Goldilocks, the one that kind of tries everything out to see what's right for her. We've got the frother trying to make things bigger than what they are, perhaps. And then we've got someone hiding under here. Someone's hiding and trying to make it seem like this girl just kind of goes around and just tries everybody's chair and everybody's bed and everybody's food. That's all she ever does. Maybe she's a couch surfer, but that's what they're trying to say that she is. Maybe that she sleeps around and she gets around or whatnot. We've got our warrior who just fights battles in her sleep. She doesn't even know she's fighting these battles, but there she goes, just living her everyday life, and she just carries on like nothing's even going on. But meanwhile, in her sleep or in her spiritual life or whatnot, subconscious, she's fighting battles behind the scenes, and they could be things that just seem a little bit out there, right? Maybe things that just seem so far out there that they need to have a closer look taken at them, because there are people who are passing away over somebody's piggy bank. They put people in isolation. They get everybody involved in their camp, and they just make a big deal of it. They try to send people to emotional outbursts. They try to overwhelm them. They try to make, you know, these emotions too hard to handle. They isolate these people. Come here. They try to drain their battery so they can't just go on any further. They try to make it so these people try to send smoke signals out for help. And look, I actually added some color to a few of the cards as well last night. I am really trying to work it all in. I'm still out there on the road 60 hours a week, and I'm doing additional driving of about 14 to 20 hours a week. So I'm just out there making it happen. You could put a cone in my spot, that's fine, but I'm still going to keep going. Right? The hazards of the job. I actually fell the other day and really hurt myself. Scuffed up the bottom of my foot, but I still have to keep on walking. I have to keep on going. It doesn't matter if I'm hurt or not. I'll just limp all the way through it. I don't care. I mean, there's things that need to get done, and it just needs to be done. You could put that in your pipe and smoke it. Got a fun house, things that are distorted, things that look a little bit different than they are. Someone could see themselves as bigger than they actually are, or maybe someone who thinks that they can't do very much is actually able to look at themselves in the mirror, and they see a much bigger version. I'm thinking I'm saying that backwards. There are some that are very small, and they look in the mirror and they think that they're very big or they're very large. And then there's some people who are very large and they see themselves as so small or minor, like they can't possibly make any difference in the world or whatnot. And I'm just noticing there's a few pictures and what do you call that? A scarf that has been arranged in my room, like they're off center. And then the other night there was a lamp that's a touch lamp that hasn't been on in months, and the other night it was on. So go figure how that happened. I don't know. Anywho, we've got a dollhouse. Someone's trying to play house. Maybe someone's trying to move in with someone. They aren't married. They just are trying to play house. They're playing make-believe, perhaps. Maybe they're trying to tell other people that someone's playing make-believe. We've got someone connecting the dots, adding some color, adding some details to whatever storyline is being said. And someone's listening. Someone is listening to whatever someone is saying. And someone's mad about that. So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and see how it goes. I hope everyone had a really great day, a really great week. Whoopsie. I know the Most High is going to make a way in everything that we do. I know that for a fact because every other time that I've been in a situation where I thought I wasn't going to get out of the situation, something's always worked out, something's always come through, something has always provided shelter, provided a way. You just have to have the faith. Even when you don't understand, or even when whatever it is that happens and you think the help is going to happen a certain way, you may think it's going to happen a certain way and it doesn't happen a certain way, and then it ends up you thought it was going to end up. Just how it works. We had the ice cube tray coming out or be showing itself. Someone could be freezing something. Someone could be giving someone a cold shoulder. What's this? Oh, road rage. Someone is mad. They're upset. We've got peace here and a rat. Someone's at peace being a rat. I always wonder how people, like I saw people today in one of the stores and they just seemed so, like they're just ordering, making their order with no care about how much it's going to cost or whatever. And it just seemed like they stood there with this, I don't know, I just got a sense that it wasn't, I don't know, something just seemed off with the situation. It was just like, how do people carry on in life, in their everyday, when they know that, I'm not saying these people that I saw are like this. It was just a thought that came to mind when I saw them. It just felt like, it's like, how do you carry on in life knowing that you've done wrong? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you, I mean, people do it all the time. And I just don't, I don't know. It baffles me. It's like, how do you go to sleep and how do you act like everything's fine? And how do you not think about the fact that you've, for the people who have taken things from other people or hurt another person, or I mean, sometimes tough love is something that has to be done and it might hurt you in order to make the decisions that you have to make, like walking away from someone that you love dearly, but you know for a fact that it's the best thing to do. Because I mean, if the courts are going to say you have a 10-year restraining order to protect you from a certain individual when they usually only give a 3-year restraining order, it's like you have to respect that order, right? And then you have that time to think about it and you're like, the situation just was not a good situation. If you're spending more days upset and sad or crying than you are enjoying life, then there's something wrong with that relationship. There's something wrong with that situation. If you're spending more days at work and you're stressed out and you're unappreciated and nobody, you know, and nobody's nice to you, or all of a sudden they turn and they're not nice to you anymore. You get no kind of kudos, but they want to promote you. It's like everyone else gets time off. Everyone else can just not show up to work and they're still accepted at work. But you ask for one more day to extend your vacation and they say, no way, no how. Or you try to get medical leave of absence to take care of your mom who's not well and they say, sorry, it's going to take 6 months to get that going. It's like, how do those people live with themselves? I mean, I guess it's not my business. It's just something I don't understand because it's not who I am. I don't know. That was just my thoughts for today. There's just a lot going on in the world, you know, outside of our little city or town or county or state or country. I don't know. I don't know. We've got the I'm rubber, you're glue, what you say bounces off of me and sticks to you as our overall energy. Someone is saying something not very nice and they're not letting it bother them. Maybe that's how they deal with it every day. Maybe it's the same kind of concept. They don't let it bother them. I mean, I don't know. We have ice coming out again. Someone could be frozen or stunned, or someone's putting the freeze on someone, or something's gone cold. Don't say anything. This isn't a force, don't say anything. This is just a please don't say anything. Scissors. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Hierarchy. The hierarchy. What hierarchy are we dealing with? Let's get our other cards out. Where did I put the other cards? They're in that thing. Here they go. These are the hierarchy cards. These are the archangels. These are the hierarchy cards. So when the hierarchy comes out, we have to pull these to see who is the hierarchy that we're talking about. We have the archangels. And the earth angels. Someone's trying to cut out the earth angels out of their and the archangels is here on top again, folks. My gosh, you saw me shuffling. The archangels and the earth angels are working together. They're trying to cut out the earth angels. They don't want the earth angels here on earth. That's why people ask, oh my gosh, they were just, why do they have to go? They were such a good person. Be the shirt off their back, or because people are trying to ice them out and cut them out of it, cut them out of the being able to live on earth. People need to start saying stuff. When you see something, say something. As far as like, if someone's not being very nice to someone, just say, you know what, that's not very nice. You could let people know they're not being nice in a respectful way. I don't know. I don't know. We've got the moon here. Something's being illuminated. It's also the female essence, from what I understand. Could have something to do with the full moon as well. The voodoo, they're doing voodoo on the full moon. This reminds me, there was a my neighbor downstairs. I just saw her today outside walking around. She never, I mean, granted, I don't see her all the time, and I'm not here all day long to watch, but today was the first time in the couple years that I've lived here that, first of all, when I first kind of moved in, after about a month or two being here, she called me a bitch from her patio, and I was like, wow, that's not very nice. I don't know why. The only thing I could think of is maybe because I was doing too much laundry and we all have to pay for the water. I don't know, but I really don't know, and I have no idea. Anywho, I saw her today earlier, walking around looking at doors and windows. It seemed like she was looking for cameras. I'm not too sure. She had a purse with her. And then when I returned tonight, I saw her out there again looking around at stuff as well. I don't know. It's also weird that at the complex, the doors to the back, which goes directly to the freeway, those doors are unlocked at night and wide open. And it only is at night. And I asked the front office about it, and she says, oh, yeah, we had the keys, those locks changed, and so that shouldn't be happening. Well, that was like 6 months to a year ago that I had asked about those doors being open at night, and she was saying, oh, yeah, we're getting the locks changed because people who have worked here before still have the keys. Well, it's like they're only open at night. They're not open during the day, so what gives? I don't understand. But anywho, someone's probably doing voodoo during the full moon cycle. But of course, now we have the assumptions card. Don't make assumptions that you know what's going on. This person is hiding behind their sign. They don't want to be seen, but they're asking for help, but they don't want to be seen. I know that feeling well. It's like you don't know who you can even ask for help, because if you ask the wrong person for help, now you've just put yourself in jeopardy. Don't make the assumption that anybody that comes to help you is actually there to help you. They may have ulterior motives, is what I'm thinking, which is just sad. We have a hermit crab. Could have to do with the Cancer. This is my Cancer card. It also could have to do with being a hermit, not being out and about, being isolated, looking for a new home. Maybe you've outgrown the place that you are. Living in a even a home. They found it. P.S. Single time. Be careful of your plastic, your bottle caps and whatnot, because the hermit crabs will find a bottle cap and they'll make it their house. And the plastic's not healthy for them either. Someone's out there playing games or practicing their games. It's a real up and down situation. We've got yarn, trying to find a loophole here, trying to create some kind of project. Are you ready? Are you ready? I think the archangels are asking, are you ready? Trying to put things together, create something, practicing their craft. We have amusement here, just someone's amusement. The elephant in the room. Rose-colored glasses. Someone's amused that someone can stay vigilantly in the place of rose-colored glasses with the transformation of things. Someone's become a butterfly. They still speak caterpillar, but they caterpillars can't speak butterfly. So anyone, a caterpillar who's listening to a butterfly, it's just going to sound foreign to them, right? It's not going to sound right. Might be over their head, or it might be something that just seems a little bit outlandish or out there. I'm sure when, who was it who, when Benjamin Franklin went out and flew the kite and made the key and everything else, that was Franklin, right? And the lightning came down the kite to the key, and then they probably thought he was crazy when he was talking about all that. Well, he had evolved. His thought process was a little bit more evolved than the other people. We've got the go. This is our traffic light. It's also wasted resources. Maybe there's someone out there who is spotting the fact that someone is wasting resources. I know that I had a thought or feeling that maybe some of the returns that were going on at my place of business where I used to work, that maybe they were kind of bogus, because I never had seen the items that were being returned, but sure enough, they were there in the store, and people were selling them. And I would always say no to returns that I didn't recognize. And if they wanted to ask the manager to rebuttal, I would always be happy for them if they've got their money back. These would be people who probably didn't have receipts on the matter, or probably relabeled the item with a different price tag. I don't know, but anything I didn't recognize myself, I would always stick to company policy and say, I'm sorry, we can't do the return because, for whatever reason, I'd call another store and see if they had that item there ever, and just go from there. Again, if my manager wanted to override my decision, I was more than happy for that customer. We got a potato. It's the root of the matter. Wasted resources is the root of the matter. Not giving credit where credit is due is the root of the matter. Maybe someone who had this elevated way of thinking and this outlook on things, that was where they were not getting the credit. It could have roots in the moving of situations, items, or people, or whatnot, or eggs. Would this be considered is an egg considered a child? Or no, because it's not born yet? A hornet's nest. Someone's amused with the fact that they can create a hornet's nest or take down a hornet's nest, and it's not even being bothered. This is the Ultra card. This is new. This is a being of white light with gold eyes, glowing eyes, a blank silver mask. Ultra is doing too much, safeguarding the KFC recipe. Maybe someone would say, the way the KFC protects their recipes, they have two different people, two different companies process only parts of the recipe, and then they get one person who doesn't know anything about the recipe who combines them, and then it gets shipped to the stores. Now, someone could be thinking or saying to them, oh, you're just going over the top, and you're going overboard in trying to protect your recipe secret. And obviously KFC is not, because they've kept it safe all this time. So someone could be trying to say someone is over the top in whatever it is or problem or issue that they're saying that they've recognized is clearly brewing. There's a nest there, and the nest keeps growing and growing, and it's a hornet's nest. And if you disturb the hornet's nest, those hornets are going to come after you. It's just the way that it is. Over the top, paranoid, ultra sensitive, beyond, or extra. Ultramen are the superheroes made of light. Ultra tech and gadgets, like you're having the ultra, the level ultra supreme, things of that nature. And we've got MK Ultra, the largest, strongest, and most expensive version is the tech gadgets. So there's an ultra hornet's nest brewing, I guess. The grass is greener. I finally painted this one. Please pick up your poop. Thanks. We've got the water sprinklers here. This person has boundaries. They have rules. They are nourishing. They are taking care of their lawn, and this person is not. It's all pebbles and dry and just desolate there. It's empty. There's nothing there. Maybe someone is able to see what's missing, or maybe someone is able to see what's being taken care of. Speaking of missing, the other day I was in another city and there was a homeless person there. I was interacting with this person. They came next to me and they started talking about tarot cards, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that's just an odd thing. Maybe he's a little bit. And I told him, I said, well, you need to be mindful about tarot cards, because it's like you have to think about why someone wouldn't want you to mess with or read tarot cards, because it tells you things that maybe other people don't want you to know. So of course they're going to tell you that tarot cards are harmful or bad, because it's like they can see into things. They can give people stories. They can intrigue or pique someone's intuition enough to be able to put things together, a storyline, right? So that's why tarot cards are made or deemed not great. Nowhere in the Bible have I ever seen that even specifies anything about tarot. It talks about psychics and it talks about things like that because some psychics are going to tell you the story of which pertains best for them and makes their situation better. There are some who are like that. Not all are like that. Majority of the people that I have known or met or have seen have been people who are on the up and up, and they generally just want to help people. They don't have ill motivations. But you also have to consider that whatever it is that they're talking about is from their perception. It's the way that they interpret. Someone can say someone's going to win a whole lot of money, like, well, let's just say, oh, it's like $500,000, and someone's going to say that's a whole lot of money, but for some people, $500,000 is not a whole lot of money, and it's not life-changing, right? So it's all about perception. Boundaries, self-respect, rules, rose-colored glasses. You can have rules and you can have boundaries and still have rose-colored glasses. Please be mindful of anything that I say, folks, and if you are misinterpreting what I'm saying, ask the question. Please just ask the question and ask for clarification before you make an assumption like we had in wherever that card was in the beginning. We've got hot air here, a hot air balloon. Someone sees things from a higher point of view and it's coming in right underneath that butterfly. A different perspective, a different point of view. Oh, going back to the tarot guy and the homeless. This man had penciled in eyebrows. I thought about that after we stopped having our conversation. I looked back and I was thinking back on the conversation, and his eyebrows were penciled in. And it's like, if someone is homeless, I don't think, and it was an older guy, so it was a gray pencil. So I just found that a little bit odd. Another thing I found kind of odd was his hair was perfectly cut, and I'm not saying that homeless people always have to have hair that's not perfectly cut, but he looked like he was pretty taken care of, so to speak. He mentioned he had chicken he hadn't eaten for 2 days, and then the person in the restaurant who worked there, she seemed over interested in this individual, which is what prompted me to even end the conversation, because I just, when she came over, it just, the vibe, everything just fell off. It's like all of a sudden, any of the subconscious little clues that I might have been picking up on that I wasn't even paying attention to, when she came over, I was like, I need to get going with the day. I spent like probably an hour and a half with this individual. Anywho, we've got a purse here. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be talking about. Shh, don't say anything. Dimensions. This purse, this riches, this stuff that you carry around, this goes on all different dimensions, folks. Whatever happens on this earth plane in the third dimension, I hate to break the news to some individuals, but your third dimension is not the only dimension that exists. We have the archangels and the earth angels here. They have representation because they exist. Just like people were thinking that the biblical days, the life and times of JC and all the other prophets and everybody else, they were trying to say that that stuff didn't exist, and now the government is coming up and science is coming up with the fact that, yeah, indeed, those stories are accurate and they're true. So I don't understand, like dinosaurs, you would think in a million years, how in the world did those dinosaurs exist? If we didn't have skeletons and fossils and stuff, we would never have imagined that those actually lived that long ago. So you just need to understand that just because you're living in this dimension or on this earth, this isn't the only dimension that exists. We've got lower dimensions. Those are called lower entities. Those are the shadows. Then we've got the higher dimensions. We've got dimensions and hierarchy here. Different levels of the angels, different levels of the heavens. We got the dimensions. It goes all the way up to 24 dimensions. Scientifically proven, I would imagine. The higher the dimension, the higher the spiritual. So for the people who are dabbling in the dark arts or dimensions such as the first dimension, the second dimension, or they're even like part of the earthly dimensions and of the shadow aspects of things, that's the bottom of the dimensions, folks. Right? That's the bottom. So why, if you know that there's places to evolve to the higher ground and the higher dimensions and the higher hierarchies, why would you want to be at the bottom and be a bottom feeder? Why? I mean, I guess that goes along with the whole thing. I'm thinking about people who just do people wrong or do dirty or commit crimes or do things that are just not cool. Why do you want to be the bottom feeder? I don't understand. You do understand that in the very beginning of the story, it was his ego that thought he could do better. So the people who are on the lowest dimensions, it's your ego thinking that you're doing better. And for anyone else who's not playing on the lower realms, just keep that in mind when you have to be dealing with people who are playing on the lower realms. I mean, it sure changes your perspective when you're like, you know what? I really do have a little bit of, my heart goes out to you. To the evildoers. My heart literally goes out to those people because it's like, and I'm sure you guys heard me boo-hooing on a couple videos, because it doesn't have to be like that. You can choose to be better. You deserve to be better. This life was meant for you to be better. So for those who are not on that plane, and you are on like at least the fourth, fifth dimensions, or even the higher part of the third dimension because you're not in your shadow, remind yourself that the people who do you harm and the people that try to hurt you or the people who just don't know, that's why it's a prayer, forgive those, Father, for they do not know what they are doing. That's what that means. They literally don't know what they're doing because they are just so caught up on a different dimension. The lower dimensions, the bottom dimensions, making a deal with the devil. That's what they're doing. The story's already written. We already know who wins. Got a geode here. Rock solid on the outside and very beautiful on the inside. You crack it open and it's beautiful. And maybe that's the whole purpose for the bottom people. The people who try to do wrong and hurt others, because they're trying to crack open these geodes so the people can see them as being beautiful. So maybe they're not so bad because they are creating such beauty in other people, right? That's the key. The squirrel. Go around collecting bits of knowledge. A squirrel is still a squirrel even without a tail on. Without a tail, it's still a squirrel, and it can still survive. Someone's got squirrely behavior, and they can jump, and they can leap from walls to trees without an issue or a problem. They're not afraid. They just go for it. That impossible itch. That impossible itch. It's like you have an itch and you scratch it, and then you just have to keep scratching it and scratching it and scratching it. And it's like the same thing goes when people think that they're going to fill their souls or they're going to fill their amusement with situations, and they still find themselves empty. Empty. This person or these people can ask each other for help, but they choose not to. They just keep trying to itch the itch themselves. And they probably can't reach it because the one they need is right there in the center of their back. There's a better way, folks. Poop stinks. It's a crappy situation. Speaking of lower realms, we've got this fly here, the monitoring spirits. I gotta get through this. We've got intervention here, though, divine intervention coming in underneath the dimensions, folks. You gotta love that. Coming in under the dimensions. That's the root. Coming in from underground. Divine intervention. Someone's frustrated because of the divine intervention. Maybe they're messing with someone and they keep being okay. They keep getting these new starts. They're always ready. They want someone to make a deal with the devil, but they refuse to make a deal with the devil. They're not going to. Why lower yourself? I colored this the other night. The dice are a little wonky, but that's okay. They're frustrated. They're rolling the dice. We've got the bicycle. It's a man-made situation. It comes in cycles. Maybe that's what the moon cycle is. We've got an empty nest here, but we've got the egg. So is it quite that nest? Is it quite that empty? Maybe someone needs to move out. Maybe someone is leaving the nest, gathering their belongings, leaving the nest after they've been taken care of. They got a worm, trying to lure someone, trying to give someone an offer, perhaps, trying to lure them from leaving the nest. We've got resurrection coming back 32,000 years. So whoever is someone's making that offer for someone to leave the nest, they're probably going to have to come back. Or they're going to bring it back up. Maybe they're going to offer somebody something in order to fill their nest again. They're going to take a gamble. We got an empty bag here. Someone's being left with the bag. Bring your own lunch. You can double your bag in order to get more strength in it. Goal to have wealth and or larger goals in life. Bagging on a girl. Someone's not talking very nice about somebody. But they don't understand that when they offer this person whatever it is to fill their nest, this person has bigger dreams. I had a dream probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and it was my old job asking me to come back, and I was saying, I can't come back there. I wouldn't be able to trust anybody. I can't trust, the people I'd work with. I can't trust the HR department. I can't trust payroll, and I can't trust the IT service desk that sends me the emails regarding HR and taxes. I don't understand how the IT help desk has anything to do with the HR or tax department. Riddle me this. It's a whole big old web. A web of lies? I don't know. It's a whole creation. It is coming in underneath the frustration. Trying to capture their prey. Center card is the hot air balloon, seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe they just use the IT help desk email as far as like, I don't know. Go figure. We've got a candle here. Let's go illuminating this spider web, this illuminating this trap, illuminating some kind of web. Are you ready for this gamble? Are you ready to throw your dice? Are you ready to participate or throw your hand in? We've got the candle. We've got butter, being able to adapt to your situation, being left out, swapping something, belly rub, swapping vulnerability. We've got the blah, blah, black sheep, again, being left out. Maybe they were trying to say that you were transforming candles. And trying to make this black sheep vulnerable. Board. Surfboard. Skateboard. Corkboard. Cutting board. Someone's just plain bored. They're not amused anymore. Now they're just in hibernation and getting some rest, I guess. They're just bored with the whole situation in general. I mean, you're not getting the response you want. Of course you're going to be bored. Just so silly. How is it even funny? How is it even entertaining? No more. No more binging, monster. I don't know why that made me think healthy healing. The monster's not healing. I don't know why that reminded me of someone I dated, and he was an honorary. He told me he was an honorary House of Representatives member. He lived, I guess I shouldn't say where he lived. I went on a date with him once. I actually enjoyed his company. I was hoping to be able to see him again. He was a little unique. But he never reached out to me after again. I didn't know if maybe because I said no to his advances. I don't know. I did notice that there was a picture that was taken down off the wall when I was there for the date. I asked about it, and he said, oh, it had fallen down off the wall and it just needed to get repaired. But you know how you have a feeling like that's just weird. Why would, you know what I mean? It just happens that, I don't know. I probably should have asked to see what picture it was just because, but I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But again, the important piece of work here is the fact that he said he was an honorary member of the House of Representatives. And I was like, wow, that's like quite the honor. I mean, they don't just hand that out to anybody. So I don't know. Me telling him that I wasn't trying to be intimate with him was not me telling him I wasn't interested in getting to know him as an individual. But hey, to each their own. I don't know why that came up with this other stuff, but manifested for a reason, I guess. I was meant to say it. I don't know. Apology. Yeah, manifest an apology. That would be great. What about all the years of all the hardship and all the weird scenarios and all the isolation and everything else that's been going on? This is supposed to be commit, so there's no commitment. Not going to commit to an apology. Okay, that's fine. I don't need an apology. Apologies are usually for the person who's giving the apology more than it is for the person who the apology is going out for, by the way. Sunny side with the rose-colored glasses. it, when you apologize to someone, it kind of frees you of the issue. If it's a true apology, that is. You know what I mean? Usually the other person's probably healed on from it, or if they are still bitter, that's just a personal thing that they need to work out. I don't have any grudges or gripes or issues or problems or ill feelings towards anyone. Lord knows if anyone were to have those, I would be able to have every right. But it's just like it's a waste of time and energy because people are people. Oh, look, we've got a seer card. No booze. This seer here that you're hearing right now, I don't drink. I haven't drank in probably 3 years. Maybe longer. I can't recall. Support. Lock. Unlocked. Oh, support unlocked. That's cool. Work. Support unlocked through work. Donate. It's not a donation. Flex. Someone's trying to flex. It's not a donation. Envy. No more envy. They're not envying the situation. They don't envy you. They probably feel bad about it. I don't know. It's getting late, folks, and I got to get up at like super early. Let's do these cards. I did get myself some flowers. Aren't those pretty? They were having a half off sale, so I'm like, hey, I should probably buy myself some flowers. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that's really something. Half off. Wow. You know what I mean? Even if I don't really get to have any time here to even spend to see them, I still know they're here. We've got memories, falconry, which is birds used in war, and we've got tech. Saw a beautiful hawk today. It was I'm assuming it's a hawk. It was spotted. It could have been a falcon. I'm not up on my birds. We've got tech here, falconry, and memories. Maybe they're frustrated because they can't get into somebody's systems. Anywho, I hope everyone has a great day. Whenever you're seeing this, I hope you sleep well. If you're seeing this at night, make it great. There's greatness in every single day. And definitely, if you have a comment, thank you for liking. I appreciate that. Chantel, thank you. If anyone has a comment or anything, then please make comments after the video post so that way we can see the comments. I don't know how all that works. I'm not real tech savvy myself, so thanks for being here. Take care and make it great every day. Make it great. Take care.